it didn't stay in the bank very long. We started giving money to family and friends straight away. We started giving money to charities straight away. We've had real fun with it. We've bought nice things. We've spent it ourselves. Some of the newspapers this morning were saying I have more joy out of giving than I do out of spending, and I'm thinking, I hope I really didn't say that. I didn't know any millionaires. My sister's house was ready to be possessed, and she, or she was having to sell it anyway. It wasn't getting repossessed. That's unfair, but it was, she was having to sell her house. That saved somebody's. There's still people who deserve to be helped. It just so happens they were lucky enough to know somebody that got really, really lucky. It is genuinely like having won the lottery every day, because you see, when you get a message back from somebody that you've helped, it's like, it's like somebody sticking air in your heart, and it just gets bigger. It's just amazing. It's almost indescribable how you get joy from that response that you get from people. I mean, I think most people have the desire to help. I think just maybe sometimes they're a bit reserved, or they don't know if they're doing the right thing, and the message just needs to get out there, and we all just need to encourage each other. And I think that's what the lottery has given me, and I feel like this opportunity to talk to you has given me a voice, and all I want is to be able to say to people, well, come along. If you don't know who to help, or you don't, if you've lost your job, turn it into a positive. Use some of that time that you've now got to help other people. And it won't help your situation. It won't get you any more money. It won't, but it really will lift your spirits. It will make you feel much better. I heard about young people having to do their homework on their mobile phones because they didn't have IT equipment. I mean, I know IT equipment seems like a luxury, but it's not if you're in a lockdown situation and your kids can't do any homework. It's on the news all the time now about people having to choose between putting the lights on or putting the heating on and feeding their kids. There's poverty, and then there's poverty. Surely to God, in this day and age, it is wrong. Whether you approve of a welfare state, whether you think people are lazy, whether you think, none of that matters. You're looking at a whole generation of children that I really don't want anybody to have to make that choice in the next generation. There's always going to be haves and haves not. Please God, I'm not giving my money back. I'm going to be one of the haves. But I don't have to sit and watch while other people have not that level of have not. I'm hoping that if we can get community groups, instead of competing for funds or competing for volunteers, that we get everybody active, we get everybody involved, and as communities that we can do something about this. If COVID has taught us nothing, it has taught us that people who are, for want of a better word, the bad in society are always the loudest. They're always the ones that get the attention. They're always the ones that shout the loudest. I've come to speak about this so that those who are doing good, the neighbour who lives in the street and they were out clapping hands for the NHS and they met somebody that they've lived beside for 20 years and haven't spoken to, there's the beginnings of community again. There's the beginnings of people not going hungry again, not being lonely. There are all these problems and issues that COVID has drawn attention to. But old people living in isolation is not a new thing. It's not something that's just happened over COVID. It's what COVID has helped with the solution. People have the solution in their own hands. There's another big hospital beside us, and the two hospitals have 1,000 patients in them, and we've bought 1,000 gifts for them, and we got 2 local organisations to wrap them up. So then I contacted my people that work on the charity at home, and I mean, you can't just turn up at the hospital with a load of gifts. You have to make sure that there's somebody there to take them. They have to go into isolation for 72 hours before they can be used, all that kind of stuff. So somebody got in touch with Altney Galvin and they asked for whatever gifts they asked for, and that's all been delivered yesterday. And we're still waiting to hear from the hospitals in Belfast, but if they get back to the staff, they'll all get the gifts they want for Christmas as well. But the hardest bit is not to just give it all away. Having said that, I have surrounded myself with very strong people who kind of keep me in check, and I do get told a lot of times, stop just giving money. I get that said to me quite a lot. And then I think we're at the point now where my husband is putting me on a budget for next year, basically, for the giving, so it's difficult, but I mean, it is personally very difficult for me. And you can imagine when you can make a difference to somebody's life with something small, it's hard not to keep doing that.